Perhaps the unknown capabilities of the human brain are yet to be found. Feats of unnatural mental abilities becoming common practice in the future. In this video, we'll discuss a small fraction of the known psychic abilities we as humans all possess and simply need to develop in order to use them. Let's start.
I smell baby lotion.
I'm just watching the video. It's crazy thing.
Levitation.
I'm going to the dollar store.
Levitation is the ability of raising your own body against the force of gravity in such a way that it remains suspended without any physical contact. Although there are many skeptics on the possibility of levitating using the power of your mind, surprisingly, our history is filled with accounts of such individuals who achieved this ability and even practiced it in front of hundreds of witnesses. One such account is from the famous levitator, Saint Joseph of Cupertino, who was cited to levitate on many occasions by hundreds of people, including the Pope. The Church even canonized Saint Joseph, and we know that the Church canonization process involves in-depth investigations, and thus many written records, including 150 eyewitness testimonies, providing detailed information about Cupertino's levitations are present. The character of the witnesses was one of the highest order: cardinals, a pope, and the inquisitors themselves. The Church at the time didn't have a motive to falsely boost a performer of miracles. Cupertino faced as much distrust as welcome from the Church over the decades. He was even under a kind of house arrest in Rome at the same time as Galileo Galilei, albeit for very different reasons. One was a mystic, the other a driving force of modern science. Both were viewed with mistrust. There are many more cases of levitation in history and even in the present, high in the Himalayan mountains by devoted Buddhist monks. Almost every religion and spiritual teaching has a history of paranormal levitations, and it's believed that when one progresses on the path of spiritualism, levitation as well as other psychic abilities comes naturally. Telekinesis. Telekinesis is an ability to move inanimate objects at will, using only the power of the mind. Among the psychophysical phenomena, clairvoyance, telepathy, and others, the phenomenon of telekinesis is one of the most intriguing. Some researchers claim that the effect of telekinesis is real, and it has to do with formation of powerful physical fields. Telekinesis generates a strong electromagnetic field and acoustic signals with a duration of 0.1 to 0.01 seconds. Other researchers think
we
that
haven't had a fire drill since
due to a mental effort known as psychokinesis.
People fell right there in that puddle.
Of telekinesis
it was slippery.
Is attributable primarily to the fact that it is extremely rare. In recent years, after a number of experiments on telekinesis, Dr. Robert G. John, the head of the Laboratory of Abnormal Studies at Princeton University, managed to prove that the human, by his psyche, can affect material objects. It was verified after thousands of experiments which involved hundreds of men and women of all ages and professions. Subjects had to move a pendulum placed under a transparent plastic cap. 5 subjects were able to do it at any time and distance, the others only in a few cases. Scientists have found out that the power of mind can affect a variety of devices and liquid media, such as highly precise chronometers, lasers, electrical generators of electromagnetic radiation, emulsions, colloids, water, etc. Some researchers claim that each of us is endowed with these paranormal abilities that once were completely natural and were widely used by people, but now they are in a latent state. Future experiments may help to reveal the nature of telekinesis. Till now, we can only ascertain the existence of a special psychoenergy that provokes telekinesis. Astral projection.
you won't get more than 200 per package.
Often depicted in fiction, as in Hollywood movies like Insidious or Doctor Strange, astral projection is our ability to separate our consciousness from our body and experience our surroundings that are not exposed to any of our five senses. While we have an entire video about the evidence and experiments of astral projection, here is one such experiment which really stands out.
And then your school will automatically
Harold
know
Sherman is a well-known psychic, and his astral goal was to check out Mercury. Mariner 10, a robotic space probe, was scheduled to approach Mercury in a week or so in 1974. Mr. Sherman astral projected to Mercury and advised that the planet had an atmosphere, although it was very thin. This was scoffed at by all the scientists and astronomers involved with the Mariner 10 project. However, when the Mariner 10 data was transferred, it was found that indeed, Mercury did have an atmosphere. Mr. Sherman was right. So, it can be safely said that astral projection has a very high potential of being in the realm of possibilities, and that Harold Sherman might in fact be an astral projector who proved so, and his results verified by a scientific expedition. Pyrokinesis. Pyrokinesis is the psychic ability which allows a person to create and control fire using only the power of the mind. It is the skill set of being able to manipulate flames and in some cases even create it.